Good evening, folks. This is Samson Toe, who's been having some serious issue here. Safety, safety, safety. Those of you, please, guys, if you're watching, please share this video for me. I am unable to share right now. So please share the video for me. I have with me here Victor Smith, who I will have again next week. But tonight has been a very difficult time. So please share the video for us. Please share the video if you don't mind. Please share the video. Share the video. This is my first time here. Really asking you guys to share my video. Please share the video. It's very important that you share the video because we're way, as you can see, we're way behind. I have Victor Smith with me here, and he's really, he's in Liberia. So let's just start the program right away. That's Victor Smith, and before that, this is the President of the Republic of Liberia, as usual. This is how I usually open my, but as you can see, I'm rushing myself here tonight. And this is the President of the Republic of Liberia, Dr. Weah, who is traveling, but this is not about Dr. Weah tonight. So please share this video for us. So let's go ahead and start the program. I have with me Mr. Victor Smith, live from Monrovia this evening, who is very patient, has been very patient, and while I'm trying to funnel around. Mr. Smith, Honorable Smith, welcome on Liberian Public Radio. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you, Samson, too, and for welcoming me. And I bring you greetings from Liberia, especially for the Engineering Society of Liberia and our family in Liberia, and both in Liberia and the U.S. We want to express our sincere thanks to you for allowing us to be on your station, on your network tonight, to adequately address the issues of the day, especially as it relates to engineering practice in Liberia. So I want to say thank you again for allowing us and sitting on your platform tonight.
Thank you, Mr. Smith. It's wonderful to have you here, folks. In terms of full disclosure, Mr. Smith is a very good friend of mine, a brother, and so I just want to bring that up immediately. Mr. Smith, let's go on. You have approached us to see if we can bring you on the platform here. I know lots of time before, you as a former acting Minister of Public Works, former Deputy Minister of Public Works for I believe it's what was it? Deputy Minister.
2012, 13, and part of 2014.
Okay. All right. Well, you should be a deputy minister for not for administration, but I'm sure it was for
technical services.
Affairs. So anyhow, thank you very much for joining us this evening. First of all, we want to say congratulations to you for being the president of the Liberian Engineering Society in Liberia, and I know this is what we're here to talk about here tonight. So I want to thank you very much. But what exactly it is that you want us to know about the Liberian Engineering Society, for which we're running behind time here, and please give us, thank you for your patience anyway. Go ahead.
Yes, something, before we can go further into the discussion, it's important that we lay the basis of our discussion and the importance engineering plays to the development of a nation. From our own experience and from what we have read from textbooks and things that we have known, that there are three noble professions in the world that are directly related to the development of mankind and the improvement of society, and also the adequate function of the universe. And among those three, or the three are maybe the medical practitioners and the medical profession, the legal practitioner or the legal professional, and that of the infrastructure, and that got to do with the engineering. But all these two professions cannot function in the absence of engineering, because even the tablets that they use and the decks that they sit on and the radio stations they speak on even are all the byproduct of engineering thinking and engineering application. So we need to make it clear that engineering is important. The Engineering Society, history has it that it was established in 1976, prior to the establishment of the engineering school at the T.R. Faulkner College of Science and Technology. A couple of years back, the engineering school was just a division under the T.R. Faulkner College of Science and Technology. But as fate could have it, now the engineering school is a standalone, it's a college by itself, a professional school that has its dean as Mr. Honorable Engineer Augustus Moore, who has been in the institution for a while. The Engineering Society was established in 1976 under the then president of Liberia, William Harold Tolbert. And how did it come about? In the early 1950s and the early 60s, in the early 60s, a lot of people were sent abroad to study engineering. And among them was Professor Cletus Watterson and Aaron Milton, the late Dr. Thomas Booker, Professor Francis Johnson, Gabriel Tucker. All of these guys studied abroad. First, they got the first degree from the University of Liberia, and some of them went to the States and got their masters or specialized. And then they returned to Liberia and honored the leadership of the then Secretary of Public Works, Mr. Gabriel Tucker. The Engineering Society was established. Since then, it's been in existence. So, to fast forward, the presidents that were there earlier was Emmanuel Sibo was the first president, and then the Civil War interrupted it. Then we came and had Dusty Wallace-Coley, Dusty Wallace-Coley, and then we have after him we had Professor Umbutule, and then we have the immediate past president was Thomas Gwenga Wong, and now I was elected as president during our November election to take the mantle of authority for Liberian Engineering Society. So that is the fundamental things about engineering first, and then the history of the establishment of the Engineering Society of Liberia. Now, we had our third convention in Grand Bassa County sometime last week before last, but between the 11th and the 13th of February this year, under the theme "No Engineer Left Behind." And we had important guests that reached out to us because of our importance and our strategic location in the world. We had the president of the Ghana Institute of Engineering, and we had another engineer from Zambia. The president, the vice president, or the administrative vice president for the World Federation of Engineering Organization, Engineer Mustafa from Nigeria, accepted the invitation to also join the conference. And then the president of the Nigerian Engineering Society, Bambatule, his vice president will join us. But then because of the COVID issue, they couldn't show up. But they were all represented by the Ghana Institute of Engineering, Engineer Alex Aye, who is now he will be the immediate past president of the Ghana Institute of Engineering, and he's going to be the new president for the AU Federation of Engineering Organizations in Africa, especially in West Africa. So the conference was held and we were able to bring back the old feelings about engineering. Now, by proclamation in 1958, March 4th, UNESCO, having understood the value of engineering, established the World Federation of Engineering Organizations. And UNESCO is a very close partner and a close supporter of the Engineering Society, of the Federation of Engineering Society. So on March 4th, 1958, a proclamation was made that the March 4th be set aside as World Engineering Day. And because the Engineering Society is part and parcel of that organization, we will be celebrating with them in Liberia. But this is a flavor we want to add to our celebration of March 4th. We will have a grand parade on the principal streets of Monrovia, leading up to the House of Representatives and House of Senate, and we will be presenting our petition, or we'll be presenting an act to legalize and institutionalize the Engineering Society of Liberia, against the background that we must be able to monitor and license and qualify all engineers that will practice within the borders of Liberia and even beyond, because the idea is that we are going to now harmonize engineering practice in West Africa. So if you have license in Liberia, I mean, you can practice in any of the West African states. And the standards will be uniform. So the pavement design in Ghana won't be much different from the pavement design in Liberia, Ivory Coast, Senegal, or you name it. Once we're in West Africa, we must have the West African standard of engineering practice. So in that, we'll give you a license. And if you decide to stay in any West African countries, you can practice engineering. Those are some of the things that we are working on for that day. There will be another competition that will unveil the winner, the future home of the Engineering Society. And that there's a design competition going on the conceptual level, that students at the University of Liberia, Stella Marie College, and the Tottenham College will come up with conceptual design, architectural conceptual design for how the future home of ESO will look like. And the prices will range from $500 to $200 to as low as $100. We also invited 10 schools, and they should also be bringing the students, because our program is that we want to sell engineering even to the schools, even to the preschools, or even to the middle school, so that by the time they graduate, they will have a sense of feeling what engineering is. So those are some of the programs that we are working on for the growth of the Engineering Society and its practice in Liberia. So I guess to pause there, and maybe if you have questions and clarity that you need, I can provide that.
Okay. All right. Well,
But to continue.
thank you, Mr. Smith. I have a few questions here as well, and myself, I have interest in engineering, and so you mentioned earlier that one of the program or things that you guys are planning to do is to license engineers within the West African basin. So the question that I have is, in West Africa, you have Guinea. Folks, it's about 2 something, almost 3 o'clock in Liberia, so we will soon take a leave of
Don't worry.
Mr. Smith here. Anyway, but you say you guys going to be doing the licensing stuff in West Africa. You have Guinea, you got Senegal, you got Ivory Coast, and that don't speak English. How will you be able to bring out the Francophone West African country into your fold to be part of this program?
That is the work of the West African Federation of Engineering Organization, under the dynamic leadership of Alex Aye from Ghana, who is a bilingual. He speaks both French and English, and he will use that expertise to get the Guineans or the Anglophone or the Francophone countries on board. There have been several meetings behind the scene that we feel greatly that it may yield good result. The West African country is now having a common high school examination, the WAC. So almost all African countries, in the West, are taking that one standard exam. We want to do similar thing for all the engineers. So if you are qualified, or you set the examination and you make a successful pass, then we're gonna license you not just for Liberia, but for the West African region. So that's what we are working on. And the examination it will be the same, or maybe administered in 2 different languages. Because engineering education, I don't know what it is, but how many years they're spending now. But when we started engineering school, we spent 5 years of our life in college, because it's a professional school. It's not just a regular degree granting institution. We are like the Bar Association or the Medical and Dental Association of Liberia. So we're going to harmonize the test so that everybody can be on par. Because if the moment for a beam is WL squared over 8 in Liberia, it will be the same thing in Sierra Leone, or in Ghana, or in Senegal, or in Ivory Coast, or in Guinea. So we're going to give a standard exam. Now, I leave on Thursday rather, for the States. And while I'm there, I will be making contact with some of the boards, the licensed board in America, to see how well they can integrate us into the system, so that we can be taking a standard exam here on Liberian soil. And if we are qualified and pass the examination, we can also practice in the US on that license, and also practice in West Africa on that same license. So that's what we're looking at. Harmonization.
So here in the US, in order for you to be licensed, which is more than a master degree as far as I'm concerned, and because you can be a master degree holder in engineering, and if you're not licensed, you don't make no money, and you don't get no promotion, that's for sure. Once you're licensed with just no master degree, you can get money and you can be promoted. That I know. But here in America, or in what I know of, different from Canada, here in America, in fact, in Canada, I don't believe they give license now. Anyway, you're engineer. Once you graduate, you're engineer. But here in the United States, first you have to take what they call engineering in training, EIT. You got to pass that. After that, then they give you time, 2 to 3 years of experience. Then after that, you engage the board, and then you take the engineering test to be certified and be licensed. Now, how will you? What? In fact, let me ask you this: when you're doing your tests in Liberia, what type of courses do you intend to include into the engineering tests?
The engineering fundamental test is an application of the basic application of physics, math, engineering ethics, thermodynamics, and the rest. We will be replicating those things, because for the first 5 years, we'll use their system. And also we make sure that the curriculum that is being used in the US or that is being used in West Africa matches the engineering school in Liberia, so that instruction will be based on those curriculums with those courses that are accepted, from which the questions will be drawn. So we aim to do that. In the US, because most of us wanted to come home, so after graduation we head back home. But our friends who stayed there, they first took the EIT test, they be engineer in training, and after 4 years, they were able now to take the PSN and be a professional engineer. So we intend to do the same thing. So engineering school all over the world are the same. They are doing this. They are doing similar thing in Egypt. So maybe we'll also visit Egypt and see how they transition from giving a standard test of engineering in their country as they are giving tests from the US standard. So basically, that's where we are.
Okay.
So the courses will be taught.
What's about the EIT issues, engineering in training? Once the people are done taking the test, how many years will you allow them to work before they can come up with the to take the test?
Now we have a bowl. Some of the proposal we're making will be how long does one remain an EIT until you can take the examination. For the first couple of years, as you said, we'll replicate what is in the US, that you can practice for at least honor a professional engineer for at least 4 years, and then you become a licensed engineer after you shall pass the examination. So we intend to give them 4 years.
I see. Let's go back to Liberia then. I know you're kind of tired, so this will be our last question. When you come to the state next week, we would like to have you on again, and hopefully we're all going to be on the same timeline, and then it's not going to be late. So this is going to be our last question. First of all, we appreciate you coming on tonight, but this is going to be our last question. So the question to you, Mr. Smith, is this: if you are successful in carrying out all of the outline that you have listed here tonight, if you are successful to be able to carry these things out, what are some of the things that you hope Liberians engineer will benefit from these kinds of ideas?
Wesley, we intend to take it further. One thing that the engineers will look up to in getting is a better salary. So once they are qualified and licensed, And the government has given us the ability or the rights to qualify them. We will sit with CSA to discuss the pay for professional engineers. We intend to do that.
Okay.
The EIT, we intend to open it up for most of the young people that will be graduating from engineering school to have better internships on the professional engineers. We're hoping to peg them up, if possible, with guys who would take them as mentor and would be mentoring them as a mentee, rather. And they would mentor them to the point that where they can be able to stay on their own feet and be ready for the examination.
I see.
But the important thing would be the safety of the society, because it will not be anything but cut and paste the way we are having it here. And I was on one radio station that said that our country infrastructurally is sitting on a time bomb. And everybody said, wow, what do you mean by that? I said, most of the structures that are built in Liberia are functionally obsolete and structurally deficient. Okay? So they don't follow the code. The guy will give one plan to Public Works. Public Works will approve that plan. When he comes on the site, he builds something totally different, in which the load calculations are not considered, but he's just looking for space. We ought to stop all of those kind of things, because we want to police ourselves to be very ethical. Because, but case in point, there is a house on 18th Street. That house is in a deplorable condition right now. The house was intended to be 2 stories, and the plan was approved for 2 stories. But to our utmost surprise, the 2-story, they added 2 more stories to make it 4. So at one point in time, when I was acting minister, I told the president that we need to take down that building, because that would send a signal to other doers, other violators, that they will first of all seek engineering advice before they build these structures. Well, most of the structures are in problem. They do hollow slab or hollow deck, and it's just a piece of mess. People sit in there and you see debris falling into offices. The floor start to sag because enough reinforcement is not there, and you just name it. The problem go on and on, because we don't have that ethics board established under the engineering society, so the guys are getting away. But believe you me, in the next couple of months to come, all of these things shall be curtailed, and engineering will be on the path of, higher heights. So that will be some of the benefits that we will get as a citizen.
Mr. Smith, I know it's very late over there in Liberia. You and I have been on this thing for almost 2 hours now, and I've been having some issue with my program and what have you. But thank you very much. I know once you get here, in fact, before you get off the plane, you will call me anyway. So thank you very much. When you get here,
California this time.
The what?
I'll be visiting California this time.
Who you going to?
Who do you think I'm coming to?
Oh, because I'm moving and I'm living here in California again.
That's no problem.
We'll welcome you here. We'll welcome you, Mr. Smith. No question asked.
I intend to fly to California after I have settled in with my daughter.
Okay.
Who is going to be studying medicine. Very talented and smart young lady. I don't know where she got the brains from. She's a 4-pointer.
That's me. Sure. I'm part of the relative, so that comes from my side.
Yeah, she was accepted in North Carolina University.
Wow.
In a pre-med program. She's want to even start with chemistry first and then move on the ladder. Get into medical school. So I have to be there to take care of those paperwork. Right. Once I'm done with that, I will be heading to Sacramento to see you. maybe at most I will stay with you a week. If possible, I'm going to bring my daughter along with me.
Okay.
So I will be there for until the early part of April before I can return, depending
Okay.
on the situation right now. But
All right.
it was good to be on your platform. As I said, I leave on Thursday, I arrive on Friday. Hopefully by Friday morning or Friday afternoon. Of
Okay.
course, by the time you step off the plane, you're going to get a WhatsApp call from me to tell you that I'm in town and just
Right.
share it in town. All the little kickers need to find a level. And I think we can do another show because we'll be in the same time zone. As I
Right.
speak to you, it's almost 2 o'clock in the morning.
Right.
And tomorrow is the graduation of the students at the engineering college in at the University of Liberia. I have to go to represent the Engineering Society of Liberia to welcome them into the noble society, noble profession, or noble. It's, welcome them to civilization as it comes with engineering.
Thank you.
So thank you. Um, I know it's late, and maybe hang around a little bit and maybe have another question. I can hang
Well,
around for the next.
what I want us to do is, first of all, my starting of the program tonight was messed up, so I wasn't able to share as much as I would like to. But what I will do, once you get here and get settled in, we will invite you and then invite the Liberian Engineers president here in the United States as well to have both of you on our platform. So other than that, we will say thank you very much. I know it's very late over there. And definitely I will be calling you very early in the morning to wake you up. I don't know for what, but that's my job and I will do that. But no, on a very serious note, I want to thank you very much, Victor, for joining me. And I like the program we're using tonight. Your audio, I mean your video is very clean, very clear. It hasn't gotten stuck or anything like that. So I really appreciate it. I think this is a newfound tools that I just found from our program. What is the noise you're hearing, folks, is from the laptop of Mr. Smith, which has another echo coming in. But we'll get that together. So, Mr. Smith, thank you very much, and we'll say good night to you.
Yeah, thank you, Samson. I will be in the US on Friday, and hopefully we can have maybe next week, Monday or Tuesday. We could be in the same time zone, even though COVID is raging in that country of yours. But we in Liberia, we are safe, so it will be good that I sit in the confines of my home, and then we can have that discussion. I don't know who's now the president for ALUSA in America. I don't know.
I don't know.
Um,
I'm gonna find a few number. Most likely, I will call Richard Banto. He most likely have knowledge on that, and I will be able to have that information by the time you get here.
yeah, and I will be available that we can have an open forum and let people call him and know the status of the practice of engineering in Liberia. There are a lot of violations, both in the private and the public sector of the infrastructure development of the country. And we as engineers, we need to step in, we need to step up to the plate and make sure that these standards are of universal standards. So when you, Samson, to come to Liberia, you will not be struggling because you want to pay COVID test money or what it is, which of course I feel is a rip off, but we have no choice but to keep paying because we want to travel and see our loved ones.
Right.
So it's good to have you. It's good to be on your show again. And my sincere apology to you for us not coming here on time, especially the listening audience. We were here trying to beef up, straighten up. I can tell this little guy, he has a big head, but maybe nothing in there. And I need to pump some oxygen in our head so we can get things going here. So I will be here. I'll be in America for in the next couple of days. And believe you me, I'm coming to California with everything I have to make sure that your head is straightened up. Thank you very
Okay.
much for having me.
Thank you. Thank you. And good night.
Good night, Mr. Toe.
Good night. Okay.
Good night.
All right, folks. Sam Cinto, Labrador Pub Radio. Yeah, we just had a conversation with Mr. Smith. I hope that the audio issue will not be resolved. I hope so. I will be right back. Let's see if the audio issue. So yes, the audio issue was coming. Okay, so we'll fix that. But in the meantime, folks, I will be right back, and then I'll try to. If you can share the video for us, we'll appreciate it. But in the meantime, let's watch this video. Samson to Labrador Pub Radio.
Nous nous ka jumelle nous de ben nous ine diade nous yo diade ne be inu ko corona ni kwa azu mu ben kwa tan son diade ko kwa don pa ye don pa ka ko be ko yen son ka ro diade ka presque ka lu ko kwa tan son de.
Ouais, ça fait bateau. Avec la jumelle de Bawa, en featuring toujours Ricky.
Le père Latif, mon producteur Choco. Papa Canet Vincent.
Okay, folks, I'm not going to be here long tonight. We apologize very strongly. We have some serious issue here. It has nothing to do with the equipment. It has nothing to do with the software. It was me. I was supposed to start at 8 o'clock, actually by 7:30. But they said, you know me, I don't hire anything. So what happened was I was trying to straighten up some things, and I accidentally pulled a cable off of my mix-up. but it didn't come out completely. It just came out enough to dislodge the audio. I didn't realize that. So I went on air, I went live. Usually when you see me, music playing, and I'm not coming on, I'm not one of those who's going to say, I'm waiting until I get 1,000 people before I come. I'm not like that. I'm not even that far anyway. I can't even do that with 10 people, let alone with 1,000. But what happened when I come on air, after that start, I have to go to the monitor over there and then share the video on all of the groups that I'm affiliated with, okay? So that you guys will be able to see it from different groups like Baller Room, GDA Forum, Liberia Public Radio, EULA Press, all of these different groups. I have to share my video with them. And it takes time. Before, they used to have an era where you just click, 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 click. Now they don't have that anymore. You have to do one at a time. And then the video go through, then it come back, then you start again. Now it's taking me almost 5-10 minutes just to be able to share the video before I can come behind the platform here. So it takes time. So it's not like when I come on, I'm waiting to say, oh, I'm waiting to get certain number before I can talk. No, I have to share. I don't have, none of us, we all do the platform here individual. Yeah, you have my keyboard here, you have my stuff here. So I can operate from here. But in order for me to share, I can't do it from here. I have to go closer to the monitor. So it takes time for me to share. But anyway, so tonight, without me realizing that I was able to knock myself off the air. You know, when I came on, there was no sound. So I'm like, what happened? What's going on? So I have to try to eliminate all of the faults. To say, okay, it's not this one. I checked my mic was fine. I checked this, I checked that, and then I realized just a little bit of piece that came out. And then when I plug it back in, the audio was on. But by that time, we're talking about almost 8:30. So Victor has been a very good gentleman. So sleepy, as you could see. I mean, just rubbing his head. He just wanted to lay this, do something in the morning. He works. He goes to work. Victor goes to work, say, around about 5:30, 6 o'clock. So for him to be up this late is just not good. So you could tell that he's very tired. But he wanted to pass his message on about the Liberian Engineering Society of Liberia. It's very dear to him. Victor has been talking about, the engineering stuff here for quite a while now, okay? And he always talk about it. He really, until he became president, he has always tried to make sure this engineering business work for the folks, okay? So now that he's president, he want to make sure all of these things that we talk about. Sometimes I'll pick up phone and stay on the phone with Victor. I was trying to, because Victor himself is a structural engineer, okay? He used to work here at Maryland, state of Maryland as a structural engineer, Maryland Department of Transportation. But he decided way back to go back home and work and help. So when he got there, we were public works, and for some reason, one thing or another, he found his own company, Alliance, and they're doing good. And one of the interesting things that Victor would do, and which I really admire, a young man, Victor Smith, a young man, okay. But one of the good things that he was doing, he continued to do, is to bring in young engineers, young graduate engineers, and he would teach them. The bad thing about it is he's a structural engineer. So most of the kids that gravitate towards Victor, they become structure engineers. And they are not. So when I went home, many of them was anxious to learn the road work, road construction, road design, okay? And they're very anxious. So but I'm not there, sir. You know, I did my best to teach and what I could. But the main thing is Victor will always, in fact, when he asked me the last time to do X, Y, and Z, the kids over there, we have a program here where I can stay here and show the kids over there what to do and what have you. And that's what we do. That's what we do. And most of the time, not even most of the time, all of the time, we're not in it for the money. But now that he has taken over the Engineering Society of Liberia, I hope Victor will see reason now to try to bring into the system some sort of credibilities, for Christ's sake. This is an Engineering Society of Liberia, and they don't have code, as you've correctly heard what he's saying here. People will build anyway. They will submit plans, copy and paste, and submit the plans to Public Works. Public Works too should be able to determine as to whether these plans you're submitting, whether they are real or not. Because you can go on Google and YouTube, and they will show, they will have design or plans, building plans. Okay? And some of them will take the calculation, and even the calculation, not all of them, because there's more calculation involved. And they will take those things, copy and paste, make a copy and send it to Public Works. And Public Works accept it. Now when they go to build, as you heard Victor saying here, when they go to build, they build something different than what the plan called for. Speaking about that, just today we had a meeting. I did a job almost 2 years ago. In fact, I was on that job when I did a live program one time. Okay? Did a design, and it's not a big deal. But then they decided when they started building, during the construction, they decided to build some of the activities that I put on there, build them differently than what the plan called for. Now they have issues, and they're calling a total man. So the first thing I said, go sue me, because I know my plan was right. I didn't take those things drawing from copy and paste. No, I thought of it. What exactly do I want to achieve on this project? Okay, this is what I want. How do I get it? What are the calculations involved? I did all of those things. So I have backup. You can't say nothing to me. In fact, so when I've showed them my backup, everybody started backtracking. Okay, Mr. Toh, then could you please? Then instead of, when they came in earlier today, it's like, Mr. Toh, this project was built, and it's for some reason, the more water coming out of it than it's supposed to be, and the property owner on the other side, they're complaining, and I'm not too sure what happened. And I said, oh, is that right? So I put up my backup, and I work now. You know, you don't just talk anymore. You do what they call WebEx. WebEx is a program where you go and show people. So I showed them all my backup. And then the big wig, the big shot. Oh, okay, well, that's not what they told us. I said, okay, then this is what I told him. The man who controlled the entire thing. I said, the next time before you come to me, make sure you get your thing in. Because I'm right. I know what I'm doing. You think I'm coming to come please then? Unless if I were lying. So I told him, I said, the next time before you come knocking people door here, I got project I have to deliver. Now you guys that took me out of this thing here for almost an hour. So the next time you're trying to do your homework before you come to me. No, it wasn't like that, Mr. Toh. We just want to make sure that you see if you. I said, I told him, I said, but that statement you made earlier, you're coming accusing me. And now here's the thing. Because I know exactly how this thing was done. I did it. So if I'm done with the work and give the job out, the person who's supposed to inspect the job and they didn't do their good job, that's not on me. You come back to me, you have to be humble and beg the total man. And that's exactly what they did. I will show you the email they sent. We're asking Mr. Toh to see if he can help us coordinate with hydraulics and see if they can find solution. Samson Toh. Folks, this is what you do when you know your job. You know your job. People can't bluff you. You think I'm coming to come sit there and let it because you big shy and thing. You think I don't know what I'm doing? Please. But let's get back to Liberia. So Mr. Smith because he's been around and he have seen a lot. There was an issue one time, he brought it up here, but I know this story. Victor is like a brother to me anyway. But I know this story. There was a building, they've submitted plans to Public Works. Victor was there. The Public Works approved the plan. But you heard him. They said they were going to build 2-story building. And because these people were connected to the vice president, I'm not saying who vice president, I'm coming to put people in here, but they were connected to the vice president. So when Victor found out that these people are building more than 2-story, he shut them down. Blue, 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 blue. The 11 people ran to the vice president. The vice president called the president. They called Victor. Victor said, we got to set an example. It ain't go well. The building is built, four-story building. Even though Public Works have two-story building plans, but you got 4-story building. It's going to be dangerous because if you build these things, the way things are built, for example, this is a column. It's designed to take this weight. You see what I'm saying? Then you go and take this other weight and put it on it. This column is not designed to take both of these weights. And that's exactly what's happening. Victor just told you also, there are some buildings in Liberia where they don't have enough rebars on the floor. And when you do that, the reason why you put rebar on the floor and everything else, most of it. Now, columns, you're talking deflection. I mean, floor, you're talking deflection. Columns, you're talking buckling. So those are different things. But if you have a floor, concrete floor, and you don't have enough steel, or you put steel in there, look, the things, you don't understand. In order for you to design a floor, you have to go through iteration of calculations, different calculations. And based on the calculation, you will come up with the weight thing that you want to put in. How do you select the steel? What rebar size you have? Is that number 8? What rebar size you have? Number 5? What rebar? It depends on the weight and the utilization of this utility that you're going to be using. If the facility is going to be used for a different thing, then that's a different calculation. So Victor is saying here that, look, there are some buildings in Liberia. The engineer called for a specific rebar, but because they want to be cheap and eat money, so they come and replace the rebar with cheap one. Well, what happened? When you build a building immediately, it's not going to just deflect. It takes time. The concrete, it's not good in deflection. You're going to have cracks. But you put the steel in there for the steel to help the concrete to balance it up. So if you put small rebar, when they call for big rebar, you put small size in there, the lifespan of the project or of the facility is going to be shortened. And that's what Victor is saying. You need ethical people. People who will not just look at money and say, this is not where your... My light is not on, folks. Okay, that's fine. People can see me. But, so you want somebody who will say, look, respectfully, not being argumentative or anything like that, or being rude. Look, sir, this is the engineering design plans we have, and these are the plans we approve. Why do we approve this thing? In this building, you're supposed to have a gusser plate in this area. It's not there right now. In this building, your spacing, your column spacing, supposed to be 25, 30 feet. They're not. So how do you want us to continue this project? Shut it down until you get these things according to the plan. And this is what Victor and his people are trying to get to. To say, from now on his leadership, Victor is trying to license engineers. Because here's the thing about being licensed. If you're licensed, Here in the United States, if you're licensed, all you need to do is pay for the state that you want to practice engineering. You have STEM. So when the engineering work is done, you put your STEM on it. You say, I STEM this thing. I view it, and it's okay. But here's the problem. If anything goes wrong on your STEM plans, they're coming for you. They're coming for you. So most of the companies that are going to hire you, and if you're licensed, they pay you more money. They don't, in engineering here in the United States, master degree has nothing to do. Don't let anybody fool you. I got master degree in engineering. Move, nothing. That master degree, you come here to Caltrain. If he's not licensed, I will be the PhD. You can't say I will be in charge because you're not licensed. There was a guy that came. We call him Dr. V. He's from Sri Lanka. Very smart guy. He came a PhD, civil engineering. But guess what? He was at the bottom. But he's smart. So he took the EIT. And then they gave him time. And then he went and took the PE, professional engineer. Now he can move up. If you don't have license in the United States and you're practicing engineering, forget it. You have to be extremely smart to be able to move up. So that's what they're trying to do over there. Okay? Yeah. So then you got to bluff, of course. So, but that's what Victor Smith and his people trying to do, and they think about it is what happened with Liberians here in the United States that have license. When they go home, do they have to read? Because the test is not easy. The EIT is more difficult than the PE test. The PE test 8 hours straight, 4 hours in the morning, 4 hours in the afternoon. Okay? The EIT, you know the kind of test they gave for EIT? Calculus, physics, okay? Hydraulics, okay? The survey, all of the engineering courses that you can have when you're in school before you graduate that you will be able to go. That's what you do for EIT. In PE, little bit of it, but they bring in problems of actual experience work. Okay? For example, you have a structure here. Okay? You have to go across somewhere there's a lake on this side. And this structure you're going to be building, it has to span the lake. You're not going to go do lake survey and things like that. These are kind of just what do you need to do as an engineer. That's when, if you practice, your experience comes to play. For example, they tell you, okay, the bridge, put a bridge down. The bridge, they go 2%. In Liberia, they do 2.5, which I don't have no problem with it. 2.5 slope. I have no problem with it because it's rain heavy over there in Liberia. So like I always say, when you build your road, you want the water to get off your road as quick as possible. So 2.5 slope, that's fine. Water get out quick. But here, when you build a bridge, it's 2%. Okay? They don't have 5% shoulder. Okay? So you're coming from the bridge, 2%. And then you come over here to the approach slab. Okay? Once you pass the approach slab, you're going to now have 2%, but then the shoulder go to 5%. You have to have some sort of a transition. Or here, you have to find me for transition. And I'm doing that right now, but anyway, that's no big deal. Okay? Then they have what they call super elevation. Now, most of you that live in the East Coast or even anywhere, you'll not see the road. They come off of a bridge and they loop around to go onto the main road or interchange, they call them. Okay? But you're never going to see interchange that goes straight like that. It goes like this and then it starts going like that. That true? That's super elevation. Now, here's the question. you see my hand like this, right? Let me go to the big screen. Folks, I don't mean to do engineering tonight, but I'm enjoying myself. You see my hand like this, right? No, let me do this paper so you can see. Just bear with me. Just bear with me, folks. Samson told LeBron Paul. Just bear with me. The reason I'm doing this so that when we bring Victor up, and the thing is not cooperating with me either. Okay, let's do this. No big deal. Okay. So, you see the paper, right? Okay. So here's the paper. Here's the row. Okay. So one car going, another car coming. But here's the row here. Okay. But in this case, let's say two lane. They're all both going that way. In fact, when you're doing the off ramp, you have 2 lane. So you go like this, 2%, 2%. So as you go, the reason they do, because it's a loop, it's like a circle. So because it's a loop and like a circle, think about it. Centrifugal force. When you take a rope with rock on it and you spin it like this, the rock want to leave the rope and fly, whatever position it's in. Because you're forcing the rock to turn. It stays there. Anytime you stop, the position you stop, that's when the rock gonna fall or they're gonna fly it out. Okay? So they use that in road design. So you take the road like this. Now you're going around. You think you will take the road like this and go around? No, car gonna fly it off. So what they do that in the speedway also. But anyway, road. So you take the road like this, and then you're going around. Now, let me use my hand now. So the road like this is going. This side, if this thing is going like this side stays. This side, at certain position, it starts lifting. And then it bends until they get to 0.0 super again. But there's not such as 0. Well, yeah, 0, whatever. But anyway, then it come back to 2%. Okay? You have to go to high super. Most of the time, you will find super, most of the roads super like 6% to be high. Most of the time, 8%. It's difficult to find 12%. 12% is very steep super. Okay? So when that happens, once you come out like this, every time when you're turning, doing your loop or getting off, every time you get in apply, you find yourself going like this with your car, right? That's a super. And then before you know, you come back like this. Why is that? The road is built like that. It's go like that, then it come back. You don't just go like that. No. When we design, we want you as a driver to be comfortable. In fact, when you're driving on the road, you don't even think about it. You don't think about the difficulty that is involved in design and giving you that comfort. You don't even think about it. You just say, oh, yeah, honey, let's go, man. Yeah. The music playing, you go, oh, and you go by. But it requires a lot. Okay? So they have what they call super elevation. Okay? So you have to come out and give all of that information. Now, the information comes out through survey, comes out through elevation. Okay? Those are the kinds of information you pass on to survey. And the company survey goes out and lay out the road. Now, this is why Samson told is so good, because I can do that myself as well. Not only am I design, but I can also do survey. So, and that's one of the reasons why road design is, I'm not going to say it's easy for me, but I enjoy it because I spend a lot of time in survey. Okay? When I was in Canton, I used to work for Stark County Engineers as a surveyor, where we go out in the forest, way in the forest. Funny thing, one time, way in the forest, I met a Nigerian guy way in the forest. I said, what are you doing here? He said, what are you doing here? But anyway, so what we used to do was property, they have the section, and each of the sections is 36 square mile. But I'm not going to go into it. But anyhow, these sections, those days they have what they call sandstone. They didn't have paint. They didn't have paint or any kind of metal or thing like that to put in the ground. But so they used to have sandstone, just like you remember back home, those big stone, and the people can shove their collar like that. Those well sentimental, right? But they are sandstone as well. But they're more durable in Liberia than they're here. So they take this sandstone, a block, and put X in it like this. North, south, west, east. You see what I'm just there? North, south, west, east. So they cross. So they put it on there, and that's your boundary line. So usually when the farmer start plowing their land, they will kick the rock out and take the rock and say, oh, I'm on land on that side. And go maybe 5-6 feet into other people's land and put a rock there. And that rock has already been referenced in the courthouse. If you go do research, if you go do deed research, you will find out that rock has already been referenced. So you come here and measure and say, oh, this rock is on this side. As a surveyor, you know the rock is not in that position. So when they start having issues, then they will call us. Then I go, men from Totan, go and settle the issue between the, you know who. But one time we went out to do the stuff. The guy was almost 15 feet into his neighbor land. And I was able to do all of the survey in all of the rocks, 26 miles square. So I got to go here, there, then try to set it. And we have the instrument that will do that, okay? EDM, distance measurement system. We do all of that. So I was able to put it right back to where it's supposed to be. When the guy found out I was bringing it right, he went in the house and took a shotgun. We had to call the police. But by the time he got a shotgun, I was out of there. I'm not about ready to stay. That my land, that total time I can't die for, big here. You want the land, all I'm trying to do is to bring peace. You want to bring shotgun, I'm out of here. I was out of there. But the reason I'm bringing these things up, because if you do survey, then these kinds of stuff, they're very easy. Now, I didn't want to touch this thing tonight, but Victor really pushed the line. Recently, you heard the president. I got to do that one too. I'm a political junkie now. Why I can't bring Dr. Wiani in it? Recently, you heard the president. They're going to do Ganta to Zwedru Road in 3 years. Those of you that have traveled on that road, do you, even if you're not an engineer, do you think it's possible? No. Why would they bring that kind of subject matter up? What Dr. Weah and his people need to do now, since you're in control of the legislature, ask the legislature to pass the law to say, I'm going to start any project that I start, specifically road connectivity project, I start. Let it be in the law that the next government, in order for their budget to be approved, that project must be able to continue, must be continuing. That's the kind of law you need to pass, because you're not going to be able to make that road in 3 years. But if you know that you're so powerful, you tell your CDCN lawmakers to pass the law, to make that part of the law, to say when the president starts a project, the next president should be able to complete. But you have to be careful. They're not just any other project. The project must be identified as a national interest. Road, building that is for the government, big building. Not market building project, no. So once you do that, because you're not going to be able to finish that road in 3 years. And the way things are going, Dr. Weah and his people, they're not going to be successful in retaining another 6 years. I don't see it. So the best thing he can do is to make CDC lawmaker, they're in control, pass the law, and then he can start. Then the next president that coming will be forced to finish George Weah project. And in fact, to be ridiculous, put time limit on it. The president got inaugurated in January. By March, that project should start. That's it. Nothing else. Okay? Because the road you're looking at, those of you that traveled the road lately, from Ganta to Tapeta to Sekepie alone, you're not going to be able to do it in 2 years either. Let me just tell you, unless you, I'm not saying it's not possible, but if you build that road, if you build it in 3 years, by the time they leave from Ganta and reach to Zwadru, from Ganta to Sekepie will start blowing up because it's not going to be working. Now, even here in the United States, sometimes if you're driving, those of you that are listening to me, just test this. If you're driving, not in the wintertime right now, in the summertime, you will come, even some area, mostly will be in a poor area because it's difficult to maintain those places. But you will see some stop sign. You see a bunch of hoop or asphalt, quota piled up in that area. So you stop before you go, your car go boom. Why? Quota like this. So if they put a binder on the floor and the binder is not binding the quota, when you drive, the quota follow you. Even here in the United States, they have issues like that. They have much more about Liberia. Okay? So, but I'm not saying that's what's going to happen. It's just that the road itself, the drainage issue. What is your problem in Liberia, on Liberian Road, my people? You don't have to be an engineer. What is the biggest problem you have on the road? The dirt road. Water. Why do you have mud? And those of you that have been traveling the country highway, where do the mud always start? In a swampy area. Where you have bamboo all over the place. And the only time you're gonna have bamboo, if you leave the bamboo, on the other side you're going uphill. On the other side you're coming uphill. The only thing you will find going uphill I call it palm nut tree. You don't find bamboo tree going uphill, bamboo tree all the way in a muddy area because it loves water. So most of the time when you find a muddy area, they are the slope, at the valley of the road. Up that way, they're going uphill. On the other side, going uphill. So both water coming down, and they don't have enough room to convey the water through the road. And as a result, the water piled up. And what do? Trying to fix the area. So what they do? The same thing they did on Doe community. That's the same thing they can do. So what do? Let's look at this again. Those of you that can bake. When you take egg and milk and mix it with flour, you have, in order for those things to disappear, look like they disappear, you got to put more flour in it. So the more flour you put in there, the dough becomes sticky together. But the amount of egg you put in there stay there. The amount of water you put in there stay. The amount of water you put there stay there. The amount of milk you put there stay in there. The liquid it stay the same. The weight, unless you take that bread and put it in the oven and dry those liquid to evaporate, then everything becomes bread. It's the same thing they do back home. Many of you that travel those highways, those country roads, you will see when you get to the place where they really have the real mud area, you'll find them going digging somewhere and piling dirt over the muddy area and mix them up and things say dry. No. The mud is just the mud. The water content remains the same. Nothing has changed. In fact, if you want to know the water content of the soil, that's how they do it in school. You take the sample, okay? You put it in a bowl and weigh it. Of course, you got to subtract the weight of the bowl. So you weigh the sample. Okay, sample weighs a certain amount. You take that sample, put it in the oven. dry it, then weigh it again. The weight going to be less. Then you subtract the weight, dry weight from the wet weight. The remaining is the water content. That's how they find water content of the soil. Okay? Okay. So let's go on. I don't know why I'm doing this here tonight, but I think that's something. I think that's something I don't mind doing. Okay, Victor put me into this thing here and he's gone. So when you do that, okay, the road they say they want to build in 3 years. Okay. So even in the summertime, in the dry season, the whole wet area now dry. But guess what? Most of you who've been traveling those roads, when you drive from Ganta all the way to Totan, what happened? Dust. Where did dust come from? The same mud is dry now. Water content is out of it because the sun have dried it out. The water evaporate, but the dust, it turned to dust. The dust can't hold nothing. Okay. You come back, you say you want to build this road. You go back in the summertime. You don't use that dust. You dig out until you meet the natural ground, which is clay. It can be 10 feet. I don't care. You dig it out. Remove that. Bring in new dirt. They call it borrow. You bring that dirt. And you don't just put the dirt in there. Okay? So let's just say you take out 3 feet. And you're going to put 3 feet back. But when you're putting it down, try to make sure that the road, this place that going like this, lift it up. So that the water that coming here, you can put some sort of a drainage system here, a pipe, a bus cover, whatever. But lift the road. Lift the road. Okay. So you dig it out. When you come and put it 3 feet by, don't just dump it in there. Do 6 inches at a time. You put 6 inches down, you compact it. When I'm talking these things, I can go back to Totan because many of you that are watching me, you all of us from the countryside. Now, I don't know why I'm doing this tonight, but I will continue. Those of you that grew up in the countryside, I don't know how old you are, but if you are old enough, up in a village, our people used to sleep on dirt bed. Our people used to, they have the kitchen and they put stuff down, but they mold these dirt to be like a cooking grill or whatever. But the mud there, even in a house, what do? They take the dirt. Those people that don't use cement, they take the dirt and turn it inside out, but then they sprinkle water on it. What are they doing? Remember the cake I told you about how you bake the cake? That's exactly what they're doing. But they take steak, real steak, but then they flatten it at the bottom. Have you not seen it before? Then you got 4 or 5 people going like this, pow, on the dirt. Okay? They want part, they're beating the dirt. They're not compact, they're compacting it, but they're beating it. We call it beating. That total language. We're beating it there. But they're compacting it. Pow, pow. Until the reason they do that, when they hit it, the soil particle, it has chemical in it. And the chemical bound each other. When they hold each other like this, you can't break that soil apart, especially if it's dry. It can share. It can share. But it takes a lot of energy to break it like this. Or soil that is really compacted and dry. You can't just break it like this, like biscuit. You can't do that. Okay? So it becomes... Mr. So, good evening. I'm on Labrador Public Radio. Are you calling me? Hello? Mr. So?
Hello?
Yeah, you're on Labrador Public Radio. How can I help you? You're live.
Are you? No, I'm not calling for live. You don't call me.
You don't call me. Your letter of suspension waiting for you.
You hear that, folks? He's suspending me, he said. He's going to suspend. You heard it. You heard it. He dropped the phone. That's the CEO. This is how he harassed me all the time. 5:30 in the morning, Alfonso will call me. You're suspended. What happened? I just feel like it. You heard it. He just called me. Listen, he's suspending me. Yeah? I'm not making it up. You heard that? He said my letter of suspension is waiting for me. But anyway. So that's the CEO of LPR. They're always harassing me, but that's fine. That's the conservative. They can't make it with a liberal. So when we're out of the show, then he suspend me, and then that's okay. I'm fine. But anyway, let me go on. So on a very serious note, so the old people use that method when they beat the dirt like that. The dirt they sprinkle water on, so they're making the soil, the chemical, without them realizing it. But they make the soil chemical to align itself and be able to bind together. Okay? That's how they do it. Now, in construction, what I just said here, you take that dirt and bring another dirt, borrow dirt and put it down, and you sprinkle water. You not see water truck on construction site, right? In the summertime. Not only because they want to keep the dust down, but they're also mixing the dirt with the water so they can grill it. And then when they roll it, then they come out with a compactor, sheepfoot compactor, had the grape drum, but they have grading in it. Hump. So they go, what they're doing, they're shaking the dirt. Just the same way our people pounding that dirt as the same thing. So when that machine shake, it's lining the dirt to compact themselves for the lining of the chemical of the soil chemical to align themselves to hold together. And that's why you use 6 inches. So after compacting the 6 inches, then you come back again, put another. They call it lift. You're compacting by lift. When you do that, by the time that's you know the road that we're talking about now. That road was built back in the beginning of 1940 something or 50 something. The road lasts until the war. Why? That road, when you used to travel when you were young, you ever thought of quota? No, because the road was compacted, truly. So lack of maintenance also destroyed the road. Okay, here's the thing here. And when I went home, I saw it. So as the population, my people, you don't just do the engineering and say this is it. As the population of the country started growing, many people go up in the countryside, okay, making farm. What do they usually make the rice farm? Don't they usually go to the swampy area? And they usually make the swampy area on the road, closer by the road. What do? They cut the trees down. But in cutting the tree down and removing it, some of them, they dump it in the river. So when the water fall like that, it carry them towards the bridge. And some of the box cover, because you have wood now, all lining up, they're not going through, so they become like a dam. So when it rains, the box cover that used to take water is no longer able to take the water because these people cut the tree upstream. And the tree, the water carried them, and the bridge, the little bridge, blocked them up. So they become a dam. The water coming all the way back on the road. Common sense. You're supposed to go out there, when you see it immediately, you cut it so the water can go, so the wood and the water go through the bridge immediately. Common sense. Our folks I don't know why. Because when I went home, I saw it. I saw that. Okay? So back to the topic of the president. Oh, Jesus. Okay. Back to the idea of the president saying he's going to build Ganta to Zwedru in 3 years. In 3 years. That's just not, it's not possible. And I'll take that back. It's possible. But you cannot do it with this international standard. Forget it. Forget it. Because first of all, most of the alignment, okay, just think about it, my people. Think about it. In the 50, what was the speed of most of the cars that were made in the 50? 35, 40 miles was the max, was high. And then as time grew on, the speed of this car started developing. What is today's speed of this car? Okay. So why would you take something that go from 0 to 60 in less than a second? Why would you take that kind of car and put it on an alignment? The curve of the alignment is not flat. You have 50-degree curve on the road, and you expect to put that kind of car on it, and you don't have accident. God, Liberia is just God is just with us. God is with us. Look at the Kakata Monterey Highway. It's paved. But just look at it. Look how many accidents they have a year. The curves, the same curve. What Tommy Bonan died 1970 something. That curve stayed there. Nothing have changed. Why? It's exactly what Mr. Smith was talking about. So I hope Mr. Smith will join us next week so that we can have a conversation. Okay? But these are the kinds of stuff that I think, and please don't say why you can't go home. Go home to do what now? I keep telling you, I will not beg for a job. Me. Why do I always say this? I don't mind helping. In fact, well, I don't want to say that because my CEO will get vexed. I don't mind helping. But these people are in position. They were put in this position, whether they know the job or not. We have to respect them. They were asked to do a specific job. And because I feel the person can't do the job, then I just go there. You can't do it. Yeah, I want job. No. No. These people were put in this position. We have to respect them. Whether we agree with them or not, we have to respect them. Because you can be in that position tomorrow. Well, just tell me. Now you say, oh, the man not doing the job, Mr. Told you can just go and see if you can help. You working in a position tomorrow. And because you don't know, somebody your car and say, no, man, you don't know anything I need to do. No, that's not how it's supposed to be. If they need help, they ask me. Okay. Now, when they ask me, when I'm going there to help, there's a clear understanding of respect between they and myself. I'm not imposing myself on them. So if I'm helping them, I will come from the perspective of, okay, they ask me for help, specific help. I'm not going to be pulling rope and rope pulling bush. No. When they need anything else, they say, Mr. We need this one. I say, okay, if I can do it, I'll do it. I have to respect them. So not because I'm an engineer, so I just go down there, oh, I'm an engineer. No. That's disrespect. And I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that. I don't care whether they know the job or not. But these are our brothers and sisters. We must respect them from the president all the way to the dog catcher in Liberia. Once they give them the position, we have to respect them. Because the respect you give today could be your respect tomorrow. Samson Toh said. So anyway, I want to thank all of you again this evening. Okay, we're time to close. Thank you guys. I know Victor was very tired, and I had some serious technical lapse here on my part. It has nothing to do with the software or has nothing to do with the But did you see Victor's video quality, folks? Usually, video quality from home they sometimes difficult to get sometimes, but this one was very clear. So anyhow, we will be back. If not Wednesday, we will be back with Mr. So, and the liberal progressive will be ready for any conservative idea that come my way. Why? My wings are flying right now. Trump not in power again. They are scared again. I'm not scared again, but when Trump was there, I kept my liberal progressive just within the Liberian community. But Trump not there again. I say I stand over the mountain and claim to be a liberal progressive. Well, what Trump will do now? Trump over me? Trump over me? Yeah, big man. The liberal progressive, I will pronounce myself. Then when conservative come to power again, then I hide myself a little bit. That one that anything to be afraid of. But anyway, folks, Samson told Liberian Public Radio, I want to thank all of you again this evening. And we will continue to do this thing when Victor joined us. We'll talk engineering a lot. And I like the idea of Victor trying to do what he can to license Liberians engineer. I think it will be useful, and I think it will be greatly appreciated, because once your life appears, you will be respected, number one. And so when you reject engineering principles that are being applied by certain people and say this is not what it's supposed to be, people will respect you and they will accept it. The only thing is we want the government officials to respect the engineering society and their members in Liberia, because all they try, I'm not a member yet, all they try to do is to bring in good things for our country. The policymakers are there to make the policy. The technocrats are there to apply the application aspect of the engineering or the policy when it comes to road infrastructure, building, what have you. That's the engineering job. So if you want somebody to do some work for you and that person is licensed, you know that person it will be trusted. Okay? So this is Samson Told, Liberian Public Radio. I want to thank all of you again. Since we have a short time tonight, let me read your comment, folks. Samson Told said, welcome, folks. I'm not going to, I will just call the first name. Robert said he's watching. Robert, Mr. Told, best sound. Okay, we got that. Jefferson, oh, wow. Victor, it's good to see you. I have always wanted to contact you. Could you please inbox me your number? You helped me a lot while you were with the UN. Thanks. Then, Budi, are you leaving Guinea-Bissau, Cape Verde, Salmanto out? Liberia Messenger, I wish you luck. Okay, Prosper. Follow you from Grand Gita. Oh, Grand Gita was watching me? Wow. Then Paulie said, so you're going to our country to work, Samson? I heard you say how you build roads. Oops. Oh, if I can remember, you're not for CDC, so you can't help develop our country. Messenger, a letter of suspension awaiting you for not doing your right. No amount of explanation will help you, my friend. Check your email ASE. Now, he fired me, that is CEO. But George, you are listening to the liberal. Okay. He pressed, Paulie said, he laughing. He served as Deputy Minister of Public Works for Liberia. What did he leave on the desk to enhance proficiency? My man, when you come next week, you can ask him that question. In fact, when I'm hosting, I will have you be part of my co-host. In fact, why don't you just go ahead and host it when you're in America? And I don't need to host it. You can host it. I need to talk to him to put finger in his throat, literally, from toe time. Okay. So then you got to bluff. Okay, please The people want you down there. Our road, Mr. Toe. What's up? Come on. Josh Amon said, I'm listening. Then Roman said, hello, Mr. Toe, watching you from Dallas, Texas. How is it over there, my man? We pray that y'all do well and the cold should get away from here. My daughter over there. So we pray. Robert said, yes. I said, he's laughing. I like Robert laughing. Mikey Esmond, what? For poor audio quality. Oh, he fired me for poor. Thank you, Mr. So. Liberty Party. So when you fire me, Liberty Party will take me. That's what they're saying. They will be happy for you to fire me. What is okay. He's running from most ability, they said. Okay. So Liberty Party is not going to be leaders here in Liberia. You can forget about that. Liberty Party, we have no party, one president, Dr. Weah, and he's doing great. Wow. What I said about you going, giving your contribution to our country, it's not you. Just go and take, just you going and taking over. But after other left Liberia, the people who left has to do the job. But the office and okay. All right, I thought I'd do that tonight. So let's say thank you guys. I apologize for the mix-up earlier today, but to it, Mr. So hopefully will be on. So it's been a wonderful, wonderful evening. Thank you very much. I still have to. No, but what you think? I'm serious. You think I need to, those people that can't mean like that, you think I need to help them or I should bluff them? So I'm from total. I need to bluff these people. You know, they need to understand. I'm a blockade. They can't do nothing to me. They need to understand. Pay me doesn't mean you own total. You're suffering people. I'm from total. I'm trying to help you to build your country. I'm from Town, Grand Union County. No, hold on. Town, Basson District, Grand Union County, Republic of Liberia, West Africa. That's where I'm coming from. I'm coming to help you. Then they're making noise. Big man. By the way, no, folks. Thank you, and I'll say good night to all of you. It's been a wonderful, wonderful time. We hope to have Mr. Smith on next week. He will be here, and hopefully he will visit us here in Sacramento as well. And then I'm not too sure if they COVID. I'm not too sure if we're going to be able to go places, but we'll put our masks. If they get here to me, I will take in places. We'll wear masks and go places. So, thank you guys, and I'll say good night to all of you.
Limona miteki ikamona salite bakopanda ngasa mokichasa mobimba bakotongoka kombo na ngai ekomango lisolo ya bato soki bakolia po batongoko bafingaka nsima basambwisanga nazali na mobali oya kokanga na makambo maso nalingaka naye lelo na lopango na bino mpo nayebisa yo oyebisa baninga na yo banda lelo bosukisa na kombo nanga mobali na yo azali mwa serie soki ekotala yo mosala na ekotala basi nyonso ya katia na bilongi mpe kopepapepa ezali mobali na yo azali mwa serie soki ekotala yo mosala na ekotala basi nyonso ya quartier na bilongi mpe kopepapepa kobotalelanga bana yanga molimo na miteki likambo nasali te bakopanzanga sango kinshasa mobimba bakotongonga kombo na ngai ekomango lisolo ya bato soki bakolia po batongoko bafingaka nsima basambwisanga